This user grew a $2,500 bankroll into $55,000 in just under 6 months. We even discuss a couple of things about growing a personal brand and all the opportunities that come with this digital age that we live in. Here's his story.
Doing this for almost 7 months, and then I'm at $55,000 in profit. Yeah, so I was pretty much just a casual bettor throughout the years, and then I found a program back in October that kind of taught this sportsbook arbitrage. I didn't know anything about it. It was completely oblivious. I wasn't in this world at all. I didn't really have a good grasp of what lines were. I just used to bet on just like my feel for my love for sports, my experience, and that doesn't work. So sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but more times than not, we all lose, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we're going that way. So, anyways, I jumped in this program, made a pretty good investment. Shout out to the guys at Major League Profits. They helped me with a couple of things, including sports cards. But on the sports book arbitrage side, they taught me that, and I jumped right in. I started on October 18th, doing some low level sports book arbitraging and some promo conversions here in Michigan. We have about 12 books at the time. And so doing this for almost 7 months, and then I'm at $55,000 in profit.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
whoa, 55K. That's a really good, man. Congrats.
Yeah, it's been a real good, it's been a real nice little side hustle. Not taking a lot of time, but I'm learning a lot along the way a lot, I should say. I've only been doing it for 6.5, 7 months, and I'm always learning. I'm learning from the community, and so I'm just I'm recently expanding and helping others kind of learn this stuff as well as I go along with it.
Did you think that you were going to be up 55K in 7 months when you first got exposed to this, or did you think there was going to be a little extra every month, not pretty much full-time income on the side?
hmm Well, honestly, I mean, I saw the potential right from the get-go. I was concerned after, maybe 2 or 3 months, it would maybe level off significantly if the bonus conversions going down or being limited. And so those things definitely happen, but you learn and you have access to more books as your bankroll increases. And I've been able to keep pace. Um, and so I have, so my bankroll started at 2,500. I forgot to mention that piece. So I grew that from 2,500 to 55K. And so
Wow.
my bankroll is at a position where I can expand even further and leverage books that allow for larger wages and stuff like that. So can get more volume in as well.
Yeah.
And so there were definitely times where um, I kind of ran out of money, but there was a lot of action, that type of stuff. But to answer your question, I didn't. I was kind of concerned that after 2 or 3 months that it wouldn't be there, but 7 months later, we're still going strong, and we're still making roughly 8 to 12K a month. So
Nice, man. And this is live pregame. What does that consist of?
right now, I'm doing mostly live arbing,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of pregame, but I've gotten a routine with the NBA season, with the sports seasons. Pretty much baseball now being in the evening, the NBA being in the evening. I do a lot of soccer as well, and those are a little bit earlier. But I try to usually just try to sit down between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern, and just knock it out as the games kind of get rolling.
So a nice extra like 500 a day from 7 to 10 every night.
Yeah, I think I average about 325 a day. And then most of that is during that time frame. And sometimes I'll get something early because I kind of just have alerts that come to my phone from the tool that I'm using and that kind of thing. And sometimes I'll pop in, I got some free time. But for the most part, I just try to leverage 7 to 8, 8:30, and then sign off and maybe enjoy some of the games or spend some time with the family.
Yeah. What is that? So it's like about $100 an hour you're averaging, roughly. It
Well, averaging more than that. I think
seven.
it's about $300 an hour.
So you're doing just from 7 to 8. That's the profit, just that 1 hour.
Yeah, pretty
Oh, I thought
much.
you would start at 7 and then it would end at like 10. So it's just that hour. You're locked in, man. Wow. Oh,
Yep, just
wow.
locked in. Sometimes I go longer, 8:39, but sometimes I go shorter. I would say on average hour to hour and a half. So yeah, 200, $300 an hour, or two to $300 a session is more accurate.
Yeah, it's more
But I
accurate.
don't spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah. What do you do in your during the daytime? What does that look like?
So I'm an IT consultant. I work with a lot of large organizations in the world, and so that's pretty much what I'm doing during the day. Uh, I was in the kind of working as a W-2 for a number of years. So I've been in this space for 20 years, working as an IT professional. But the last year or so, I've kind of gone into consulting where I do it for myself, and I get hired on a contract. So I'm working with a lot of people, and I'm being my own boss. So that's been working out really well. And but I've been very motivated this past year or so to find additional incomes,
Yeah.
and sports book arbitraging is another, is one of those.
Those meetings that you have and all the friends that are pretty data driven, I guess, in the IT world, have you ever mentioned anything about sports betting to them and how you make money of that with that? And do they ever look at you weird or do you just keep it to yourself or
You don't want to honestly kind of keep it to myself. There's
yeah.
kind of there's a bit of a stigma, for example. There was even like a one of the churches that I attend to. There was kind of a scandal, if you will, with somebody that was actually gambling and lost a lot of the church's money. So there's that stigma
Oh,
out in the, yeah, there's that stigma in the community, and other people, and I don't want to mix that with my professional space yet. There might be a point where I make that conversion, because I can see sportsbook arbitrage, coaching, sharing the knowledge, all of those things becoming more of a career for me, and that IT consulting work, but I'm not there yet. So
oh.
I'll keep it to myself for now.
So you really do enjoy this then if you're looking at it like that, pretty long-term stuff.
Yeah, I am. I'm doing some things, and I just recently launched my X account, Arb Samurai, and also for IG. So I have those two. I've recently launched that. I've started to provide, coaching and digital content to be able to learn that thing. So I have some other pages. So I'm doing some digital marketing on the side, with other things. And so I have some experience in the space, specifically in the Instagram space.
Okay.
Um,
So you've
and mhm,
so like growing social media accounts, you have experience.
mhm. Yeah, growing social media content. For example, I have a page that has, over 50,000 followers and has a reach in the millions in terms of viral reels and so forth. So it's growing that, and I can see that at some point mingling with my knowledge, because it's a good social proof what I have here, right? For seven
Hmm.
months, making $55,000, it's good social proof. It's good side income. It's something that doesn't take a lot of time, right? It's something that just about anybody can learn, I feel. At least the promotion conversions and so forth. Um, it's easy money. And for most Americans that are in states that have access to these things, it's something people should be able to take advantage of.
Yeah. Well, what kind of reels are those account? Like what kind of content is that account that you have all that big reach with?
Yeah.
What kind of content is it?
So this one is more comedic reels and
So are you doing it? Are
controversial.
you acting or are you just finding stuff for and then just
I'm finding
reposting?
stuff. I'm
Okay.
finding stuff. I have a couple people that work for me, that also work on my marketing team, on my media team, that finds this content, cuts it from different places, whether it be from YouTube or TV or
Hmm.
movies, other people that are viral. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily original content, but
Just
it's just
repurposing.
repurposing it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
repurposing it, putting our little spin on it, putting our graphics and captions and all of that on it, our own our own style to it, and so we have pretty good reach. Now it's as I said, it's comedic. in nature. There's a
Yeah.
lot of controversial things related to feminism and masculinity, and kind of that whole back and forth. So I have a pretty good audience in terms of, and a pretty good reach in terms of bringing people from both genders and also from both sides of the aisle in terms of the political side, and just having good engagement. So
Hmm.
we do have pretty good engagement on the site, and that's something I just started doing. It started with sportsbook arbitrage and just kind of seeing what the world is out there. And one of the things that these guys at Major League Profits were doing was doing a really good job of advertising their program on Instagram. So I started working with them, and then I joined another. So I'm a big believer in coaching, and I joined another coaching um, academy, if you will, that helped me grow these these pages, basically, where these
Hmm.
faceless Instagram pages, where I've started from scratch in February, and now I have pages that have 50,000 plus followers and reaches in the millions. So.
I have a question now for with that. Anybody that
Mhm.
wants to, well, since you have the experience with that, that wants to grow on social media, what kind of advice would you give those people? Because you have pretty good experience with that. People that want to grow, I guess, their sports betting brand.
Mhm. Well, I think consistency is one of the things that you really need to be, I'm mostly in the Instagram world, right? So from an
Mhm.
Instagram world, there's things like you want to leverage reels, you want to leverage original content is king. But if you're going to repurpose content, you want to make sure that you're getting it from the original source, that you're crediting them, that you're that you put your own spin on it. You can comment on it. You can do a side by side video, like a duet type thing, put your own captions and graphics and stories around it. And consistency, as I said, is the biggest thing. For a person that's coming on, you want to start going to 2 to 3 reels a day, taking a look at your data, see when things are being reached, find out what works, what doesn't work, from your account. Pay attention to the little details. Get the hook, in the first few seconds of the reel, followed by the body and your call to action and what that might be. And in the beginning, it's usually growth, right? Your call to action is growth, and as you grow, you can do other things. You can leverage your, whatever skills that you may have or obtain over time. Um, to
Yeah.
monetize. You can do advertisements. You can have people seek you out for coaching, and so that's one of the things I'm starting to do now. I'm starting to coach others in the sportsbook arbitrage world, but I'm also coaching them in IG growth.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you got a lot going on, man. I love that.
yeah. I got a real desire to grow and to become financially free, and you know, I like the idea of having multiple sources of income, not to be depending on one. And there's things that you might be better at or fall in love faster or at some point fall in love with more. And those are things that you can go towards more. But yeah, I'm working through that American dream, if you will, of having financial independence. And it looks like you have reached that at some level there, being in Colombia and being a bit of a nomad from following your site. Have a little bit of freedom there. And I'm sure there's some financial freedom that goes with that,
Yeah.
obviously, and not having to be stuck in one place. And that's something I aspire to. And I have a family, but I want to be able to be able to take my family anywhere we want to go. And you know,
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Something that I guess is very possible in today's modern age is to be pretty, have a lot of location freedom and find all of these, niches in the online world that you can make as much money as you want to, really, depending on your work and your vision and, your mental capacity, I would say, your mental barriers.
mhm,
Because as we've seen and as we know in today's day and age, there's more millionaires that have ever existed just because of the internet, right? You don't even necessarily, if you don't get to the multi-millions, just the bar is so high, right? That you, even if you get a
mhm,
little close to it, you're up and it you're up farther than a lot of the people were 30, 40 years ago, or how capable it was, right? It was very difficult before. The entrepreneurs from back in the day had it way harder than the ones from today.
for sure,
Um, because like
for sure. And It's because of social media.
Yep.
It's 100% because of social media. 30 years ago, you had to pay for your advertising. You had to. And, you didn't have the tools that you have to advertise to the people that you wanted to. And
Yeah.
today you have access to a platform like Instagram that has 7 billion users. You have access to all 7 billion and you have access to them for free.
It's the world population, basically. Honest.
Yeah, I mean, people have multiple accounts. Obviously, not
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
has an IG, but
yeah, yeah,
there's 7 billion IG accounts.
yeah.
You have
Exactly.
access to a lot of people, that you didn't have access to 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's so interesting to I guess talking about that is just like watching the different people's feeds and how is it so different and how you think that what you're doing or what you're posting, what your feed shows people in that feed you're in won't care, but you could be in the
Hmm.
perfect niche that you have no idea is waiting for your content, right? Just because, like, for example, the content that you are making, you're not consuming as much,
Hmm.
um, because of like that exactly. There's just so many people, so many interests that that people should just try everything really, or
Hmm. Absolutely. And I'll give you a real tip on going viral with the reel on Instagram. Now that you have access to all these people, what you need to realize, or what most people don't realize, is that means that there's people from all kinds of culture, all kinds of languages. So not just English speaking people, right? Spanish
yeah,
speaking people, etc., Indians and etc. So you
yep,
make reels, short reels that are language free. All there are is action and maybe a universal signal or sign. And that goes viral much quicker than speaking English or having English captions, because then you only have access to the English speaking culture or countries and audience. But if you do reels that are language independent, you have access to everyone.
yep. Yeah, I really love the direction this conversation took because usually when I talk to people, we just talk about arbitrage and just make doing that. But I like that we are incorporating just the world we live in today, right? And obviously
Hmm.
sports betting, arbitrage betting, however, whatever sharp strategies being, modern ways of making money because it really is modern, but it just doesn't end here, right? Um, just it's just pretty infinite. So yeah, I mean, is I now I guess going back to sports betting.
Yeah, we got
um,
a bit of a tangent there.
no, it's all good. This is great. Um, so for the new people starting out, if you were to start again today with what you know now, what would you tell
Mhm.
yourself with that day one? Remember that day one when everything was just like, what am I doing? This is so fast. What would you tell yourself? What would advice?
Well, for me, I think knowledge is great, seeking out that knowledge. There's a great community on Twitter, on X, following others, so, also on YouTube with your page, your channel. Just bringing that knowledge in. That's one of the things I did in the beginning, is I really soaked in not only the knowledge from the academy that I was attending, but going on YouTube and finding your content and some of the people that you were interviewing. I was learning so much, finding people on X. So that's a big part of it. And then, whether you get that knowledge, from reading materials, from website searching, from YouTube, or getting coaching, which, with people that have been successful and they can direct you exactly where you need to go and not waste any time. That's one of the places that I would go. And then you start off slow. When you go on day one, you start off slow. You see if there's any promotions that you can convert in your state or your area. Those are relatively easy things to do. And if it's not something then, seek out help
Yeah.
and seek out that knowledge. And then start small with the sportsbook arbitraging. And when I say I mean start small, you know, put your unit sizes really small. Make it $1, make it $10. Get used to this, the ever changing lines, right? Especially when you're going into the world of live arbitrage. And that's the other thing. I would start with only pre-betting before live arbitrage, the pre-bet. so they go a little bit slower. You can get used to the interfaces of different websites, different apps if you're going to do it on your phone. And as you get more familiar, there's going to be mistakes that are made. So you want to lessen those mistakes and not and the impact of those mistakes and just kind of move forward and you go faster and
Yeah.
you increase your unit size. And, you know, there's also a strategy behind it in terms of how do you mask, you know, your play so that you can have an account that doesn't get limited right away and those type of things. And so being a new user, you can take advantage of that going slow, um, making some wages that doesn't look necessarily like a sharp better.
Yeah. Yeah, like main market stuff, close to game time, favorite team on the
Hmm.
state you're in, stuff like that, right?
Yep, all those little tips of the trade. Main markets are great. Stay away from player props. Stay away from the big, obvious um, line
Mistakes. Yeah.
miscalculations. You know, between the sports books. Um, just be. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes some patience sometimes. Uh, Sometimes you want to kind of go for it. You just kind of fight that urge and just the like the tortoise in the hare and just go at a steady pace. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been working for me.
Where does that name come from, Arb Samurai?
So Sam's my name, right? Arbing
Okay.
is obviously Arb. And the way of the samurai is, you know, a way of discipline, a way of just kind of following the way, making sure that I think the key word in that is discipline, right? Just making
Hmm.
sure that you're disciplined, you're staying on track, you're learning your craft, you're becoming a master. These are all things kind of related to samurai. So obviously
Speed. Also fast. Speed.
there's speed, there's precision, right? With
Mm.
samurai warriors. So it's a play on the Arab, it's a play on my name, it's a play on the way of life, if you will.
Yeah.
And that can that can lead into sports book arbitrage, your attitude, your style. That's
Yeah.
my style.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, Sam, really appreciate your help, your tips for the people, your time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, if there's anything else you would like to tell the people listening, or you could just say bye-bye.
Yeah, just continue to watch my man here, Juan, on his channel. So he's doing really great. It's and helping people out.
Thank you.
Um, if I could do a quick shout out on my stuff, you can follow me at Twitter or
Yep.
X or Instagram or Samurai. And if you want to follow my other stuff on IG, the motivational speech. That's with one E and two C's.
Yeah.
And
We'll
so
link all your stuff here
listen,
so people
and
could
like I
check it
said,
out.
I appreciate it. And like I say, I know at the end of all my posts, let's take the money back from the sports books.
That's right. Because they got way too much.
They got way too much from regular people.
All right, man. Appreciate you. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
All right.